I love disaster films, always have. So when Greenland came out in 2020, it was everything I wanted. Tense, focused, surprisingly believable for the genre. So when the sequel was announced, I was genuinely excited. Well, I shouldn't have been. In this video, I'm going to talk about both films. What the first one got right, where the second one went wrong, and now that it's available on HBO, is it worth your time? Let's dive in. So let's start with the first Greenland film. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't catch it in theaters, and I had no idea what the film was even about, but I was on another disaster kick, and I was watching Geostorm, another Gerard Butler disaster film, Moonfall, and several other disaster films of the time. And then I saw Greenland, and I saw the good reviews, so I wanted to check it out. What Greenland gets right is it presents an end-of-the-world scenario, but frames it from the POV of a single family. So you're either seeing the situation through John's eyes, played by Gerard Butler, or Allison's eyes, played by Marina Baccarin. So you're seeing almost everything that happens through this family, and it makes it a very tight, very focused, very chilling film because you relate to these characters, you like them, you see them, you're with them the whole time. You're not seeing other storylines. This is it. You're like right there with them. And so when bad things are happening to them, when they're running from danger, whether it's the asteroids falling and the meteors falling, or it's people who are desperate to survive as well, you feel for them. The second film kind of goes away from that. It expands the plot. It makes it bigger. It goes away from this focus on this one singular family unit. And then you have a doctor, you have friends that they meet along the way, they have soldiers. There's all these people that they run into, and you lose that sense of closeness and a focus that you have in the first film. They completely drop the subplot of the son needing insulin. You see it when the bunker that they're in falls down at the beginning of the film. He reaches for all the insulin, and then it's never brought up again. There's so many weird plot holes and Deus Ex Machina type situations in this film where things just sort of work out for them. It really becomes hard to believe what's happening in front of you. Now, I know that's a lot to say because in a disaster film, they're all kind of exaggerated and they're hard to believe and the science doesn't usually make any sense at all. But once you accept that this end of the world situation is happening, usually you can go along with the ride. But in this one, it's already happened. And now the bunker that they're in falls down and they have to escape. And for some reason, they think going to the crater where the meteor hit is gonna give them new life and be the birthplace of a new civilization. They set sail to this place. They end up in England and there's just people everywhere. There's like people all around and it's like this society that's, damaged, but like everyone's out and about and it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's supposed to be an apocalyptic situation where it's this end of the world situation happened and pretty much everyone's dead. It was weird to me because these John and his family have been in this bunker for 5 years, and yet for 5 years or whatever, people have been living up on Earth. And another subplot of this film is John is sick and he's dying, slowly dying in this film. And he mentions that he took one too many trips outside of the bunker in the beginning of the film. And then I'm like, he was suited up and he went outside and he's got weeks to live. And these people have been outside, out in the air for 5 years and they're fine. Like, what? That doesn't make any damn sense. And he was like the worst off of anybody. And it was just weird. And they keep running into people that are surprisingly helpful. They run into a French guy who kind of takes them in, feeds them, shows them the way to go, hooks them up with a connection in the military, and then has these random strangers take his daughter. And they tell them to go, that it's really dangerous to get to the crater. They have to go through all this fighting. And like, yeah, they're fighting, but they get through it and it's like 5 minutes and then they're basically going to the crater. And it's like, that wasn't that hard. If you're so bad off where you are and the promise of something better is just through that, why wouldn't you go on your own? And don't even get me started on the science of the film or when they get to the crater and they see there's like lakes and rivers and farmland and trees growing and like people have built buildings already. And I'm like, in 5 years, you're telling me there's like these super tall trees in there. There's these formed lakes and it's all in this one crater and there's like a civilization there. And if that's the case, why doesn't everybody go there? And it's a shame because I really love disaster films. I did 2 videos on this channel, one about the disaster films of the 70s and another about the disaster film of the 90s. You can check both of those videos out on my channel right now. And if you do and you like those, please leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Help me grow and help me bring more of these videos to you. Now, the special effects were really nice. The action scenes were pretty fun, and the film kept moving almost a little too fast in my opinion. Like, the film's only like 90 to 100 minutes, and it would just go, 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 go. One thing happened after the other, and they were on their way, and then this thing happened, and they have to deal with it, and then they're on their way, and then this thing happened, they deal with it, they're on their way. There's never really a chance to stop and get to know the son a little better. Like, we don't really care about him at all. There's no more family drama between the husband and the wife or any issues. They're just together and on the same page the whole time. There's no conflict there. So it's becoming a straight up action disaster film, whereas the first one was a disaster film, but also a family drama mixed in. And I think that's where the second film struggled and suffered. Even though the budget was huge on the second film, way more than the first one, I didn't see it. Now, you know, I don't like to come on this channel and bash films because that's not really what I want to do. I don't sit down and watch a film that I know I'm going to hate because I don't have enough time to just be watching things that I don't want to watch. So when I go into a film that I want to review for this channel or discuss, it's my hope that I'm going to like it. And sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. What I won't do is sugarcoat it or BS you about loving or liking something when I clearly didn't. So yeah, so that's my mindset going into these films. Now, I mentioned a whole lot of negatives about this film, but let me give you some positives. It's still a fun movie to watch, and that's why I think I like disaster films in the first place. They're fun, they're exciting, they're usually tense. I'm a big fan when it's nature versus humans, and you don't have like a specific human antagonist. And that's the same thing in this film. It's pretty much them trying to get to the crater and dealing with the remains of society, dealing with the asteroids still coming, the earthquakes, things happening to them. So I really like disaster films for that reason. It's fun to watch, it's exciting, and this film has great special effects. The acting is fine, it's serviceable. I would call it like B or C grade acting. This isn't anything that will ever win any kind of acting award. And I do think that some of the scenes are fun and exciting and move quickly from point A to point B. You're not going to be bored. You may just be scratching your head and wondering like, that doesn't make any sense, or that was kind of stupid. Why did they do that? Let's talk about rating these two films. So Greenland 1, I genuinely enjoyed, and I think it's one of the better disaster films of the last 10 to 15 years. Now, I know there's not a ton of them that came out, but there's actually a lot of foreign disaster films that have been doing pretty well. So in that case, there have been a lot. And Greenland is right up there with some of the better ones. I would give Greenland a 3.5 out of 5, which I consider to be a pretty good score and a pretty good film. The second one has some problems. It has some good things about it as well, but it doesn't rise to the level of the first one. And if I was giving it a rating, I would give it something in the range of like a 2.7 out of 5. Now, generally on my 5 score, anything 3 or higher, I consider to be a pretty good film and definitely worth your time. Anything below 3, it really depends what you're in the mood for, or if you're just a big fan of these kind of films. So if you're like me and you love disaster films, check it out. It's still worth your time, especially now that it's available on HBO Max for free. If you are not someone who loves disaster films and you're kind of hit and miss on them, there are better examples for you to dive into before you go check out this film. And if you have not seen the first one, definitely check that out first, because the second one really won't make any sense without the first one. But also it's just better. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like and comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to be reminded of every video I do. I post them weekly, and I really need your help to grow the channel and bring you more of these recommendations. Until next time, stop scrolling, start watching.